Welcome back to another Flames of War battle report presented by Miniature Game Montage. With Operation Bagration underway in mid-1944, the Soviets looked to drive a wedge into Army Group Center of the Germans. My buddy Anthony is back today with his Red Army, and I will be playing the Germans. We had a ton of fun playing this game, and I can't wait to share it with you. We may get some rules wrong, but don't hesitate to leave a comment so we can improve if you catch anything. As always, my battle reports are quick and to the point. My goal in making these reports is to share our good time and give some exposure to the games we love. You can support our efforts with a like on this video, and feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content. For lists, the Germans bring a Panzer IV tank company. They have 2 Panzer IV HQ tanks, a platoon of 4 Panzer IVs, an armored Panzer Grenadier platoon with 4 half-tracks and a Panzerschreck, and 3 additional Panzer IVs to round out the formation. In support, they have 2 Pak 40s, 4 10.5cm howitzers, 2 88s, and a small Panzer Grenadier platoon in formation support with a Panzer Faust. The Soviets bring a Hero T-34 tank battalion. The formation consists of 1 T-34 HQ, 2 platoons of 4 T-34 85s, and 2 T-34 76s, split with 2 in each. A platoon of 3 with 1 T-34 85 and 2 T-34 76s. A submachine gun Hero company with 7 stands and a commissar. Also a platoon of 3 82mm mortars. In support, he has 4 76mm artillery guns, a captured SK armored car observer, 3 BA-64s, and 4 ISU-122s. He rounds out his list with 3 cards, selecting RPG 6 anti-tank grenades, Hero Tank Desantniki, and Under the Cover of Smoke. Today's mission is free-for-all, and the Soviets will be attacking. Meeting engagement rules will be in effect. Pre-planned artillery templates are placed, but no artillery fire will come from the Soviets on the first turn. After discussion, we decided to hold the Under Cover of Smoke card until turn 2, when his artillery could fire. We were unsure if this card could be played under meeting engagement rules. Let us know in the comments what you think. With objectives placed, the goal is to hold an objective in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of your turn. Deployment is complete, and we're ready for turn 1. I hope you enjoy this matchup. Turn 1 underway, the artillery teams are going to attempt to dig in on a 4-up, and they're going to fail. Over on Anthony's left flank, the mortar team is going to attempt to dig in as well, as they do not have a sufficient target right now. So on a 4-up, they will dig in, and that will pass. Back to the center of the board, his T-34 unit, the group of 3, is going to successfully pass a blitz maneuver on a 3-up, and they are going to move around the right side of his formation. Back to the center, his infantry is going to mount on to the tanks, and then the BA-64s are going to attempt a blitz maneuver. They are going to fail, requiring a 4-up, and due to that, they are going to retreat back to the hill. We've then got cross checks coming out from one of the T-34 units as they go into the woods, positioning themselves just deep enough to where they cannot be targeted on the German turn. And this will bring the first turn of the Soviets to a close. Being a bit cautious here, waiting for that artillery fire to come in on turn 2, we are going to flip over to the Germans for the bottom of 1. To start off, the German infantry on the left flank attempt to dig in on a 3+, and that does fail. Over on the German right flank, more infantry attempting to dig in, hunkering down on the objective. That will fail as well. The 88s attempting to dig in on a 3-up also fails, and the Pak 40s will attempt to dig in as well, and that is successful. The Panzer IV platoon will attempt a blitz move on a 3+. That is successful. They get a free 4-inch move forwards, and then we've got a blitz move by the other Panzer IV unit. That will be successful. Cross-checks being taken, and the first one is going to fail. The second is successful, and the last one will fail as well. The HQ teams are going to move up at tactical speed, and they will be followed by the half tracks, and with that we are ready to move into the shooting step. The howitzers self-spotting onto the hill, getting a few of these under the template, including one of the armored cars. That artillery shot is going to miss. And then on the ISU 122s, 3 of these getting caught under the template. The first one is a hit, and the second one is a miss, and the third one is going to be a miss, requiring 3s. And anything but a 1 required to make this save. That is good. We move over to the Pack 40s. They are going to take shots at the armored cars up on the hill, just looking to absolutely obliterate these things, and only getting 1 shot each because they did dig in. It will be forced to hit for range. These guys are normally hit on 3s. 1 hit is going to go through, and it goes straight to a firepower test, and that firepower test is going to fail, so one of those armored cars bailed out. Continuing action for the Germans, one of the 88s is going to take a shot down at the ISU 122s, needing a 5 here due to range and concealment, and that shot is going to miss at their moving rate of fire due to them attempting to dig in. And then we've got the Panzer IVs. They're launching shots down at the observer, and this is long range and concealed. 2 shots coming out because they did blitz. One of these is going to connect with the armored vehicle, straight to a firepower test, only a bailout though. Next up we have the HQ unit. They are going to fire into the tanks that are carrying the infantry, the T-34s here, off in the woods. That is long range and concealed, and that's going to make these 5s to hit. Both of these go through. Rolling saves, that front tank is going to fail, and the back tank will successfully deflect the shot, so we will move to a firepower test on a 3-up to see if we destroy that first tank, and he is carrying 2 infantry stands. We will roll for them as well. The firepower test is unsuccessful, so the tank bails out, and then we do roll for the 2 infantry stands. One of them is taken down. We will also roll for the infantry stands on that back tank. 2 more saves coming out, requiring 3 ups, and both of these fail. That's 2 stands on that tank taken down as well. And that brings turn 1 to a close. With some casualties on the Soviet side, both sides appear to be moving up the center of the board, and we are getting ready for turn 2, see where that smoke comes down, and see where the Red Army is going to make their push. Starting step underway for the Soviets. The scout car will get back in on a 4+, and then we move over to the T-34 in the center that was bailed out, attempting to remount that tank on a 4+. That fails on this too, and then attempting to remount in one of these BA-64s, and that is going to fail. Smoke then appears on the horizon, blocking off those 88s as well as the right side of those Panzer IVs and some of the visibility from those Pack 40s. A blitz maneuver from the T-34s is successful, and they will take cross-checks on a 2-up starting from the top to the bottom, and all of these are going to be successful. They are going to make a blitz maneuver and then move at tactical speed around to the left side of the Soviet flank, and the Soviets making their intentions known of where the attack will come from. And as quick as those infantry got on the tanks, they are quickly getting off, moving at tactical speed through the woods. And then the T-34s in the center are going to attempt a blitz maneuver. They will be successful. 2 of these will require cross-checks, and they are leaving their fellow comrade behind and moving around to help on the left side of that Soviet flank. The BA-64s are going to make a move as well, using a dash maneuver, and then we move to the center where the T-34 HQ unit is going to take a cross-check on a 2+, keeping one of his treads in the terrain. He is going to position at the front of this artillery. The other T-34 unit there will take 2 cross-checks as they move into the woods, and 1 following up closely behind. In the shooting step, the ISU 122s are going to self-spot down at the PAC-40s, attempting to range in on a 5+. The first attempt is going to fail. The second attempt is going to fail, as is the third. We've then got another range-in attempt on these PAC-40s, getting just through the sliver of smoke here at the left of the screen. The scout car is going to attempt to range in for the mortars. He has a skill of 3. The mortars are a skill of 5, but we will use the worst in this situation. So attempting to range in on those PAC-40s again with a 5 up, and that is going to be successful. And continuing in the shooting step, the T-34s in the center of the board will open up against the Panzer IVs. First, the 85 takes a shot, hitting on 5s just due to long range, normally hit on 4s. That shot is going to miss. The 76 is going to line up a shot next. It is overworked, so it is a +1 to hit. It will require 6s with long range, and that shot is going to fail. Over on the Soviet left flank, where they've decided to apply a lot of pressure, this unit of T-34s is going to fire into the PAC-40s, leading off with those 85s, and it is just going to hit on 5s due to concealed. These guys are normally hit on 4s. 2 hits go through, and 1 of each is assigned. And we're going to go ahead and roll saves for these. A 4-up gun save will be taken. The first one is going to be good, and the second one is going to fail. Goes to a firepower test, 3 up, and one of those PAC-40s is destroyed. We do have 2 shots from the 76s. They did move, so they are overworked, requiring 6s to hit. Both of those will fail. And then from the other platoon, we have 2 T-34 85s. They will get 1 shot each at these PAC-40s, and they are concealed, so again requiring 5s as they are within 16 inches, and both of these shots are going to miss as well. Mortars begin to rain down on the lone PAC-40 left on the hill, ranged in on the first attempt, so is hit on a 4, which is successful. I accidentally count a 3 up here as good. The gun save should be a 4+. I accidentally count that as good. As we go into the German starting step, these guys do roll for a last stand and fail, so the PAC-40s are removed from the game. Continuing in the movement step, digging in the infantry on the right flank. Thought about digging in the 88s, but then elected against it. Over on the left flank, attempting to dig in some infantry, and that roll is going to fail. And then we've got blitz maneuvers in the center with the Panzer IVs going first on a 3+, and then we go ahead and roll for the HQ to blitz them as well. On a 3+, they fail. So the blitz maneuver that was successful carries these tanks forward 4 inches, and after some consideration, we decide to move them up at tactical speed, trying to bring those guns within 16 inches short range of the T-34s in front of it. The HQ units then move up alongside of the Panzer IVs, forming that front line, and the half-tracks begin scooting around the left flank. The last Panzer IV platoon will take cross checks here, starting with the right, and they will be successful on a 3. They are all going to be good, and they are going to move up and then decide to tuck back behind this smoke, but able to see through the other side. They would suffer a -1 penalty to shoot, however, and we are going to move into the shooting phase where the artillery is going to open up against the same spot, repeat bombardment. And the BA-64 will take a hit on this 3, and he will need a 3 in order to tie my anti-tank. That roll is going to fail as he rolls out a 2, so we do a 3-up firepower test, and that vehicle will go up in flames. We are then going to roll for the ISU 122s, starting with the top to bottom, and they will be hit on 3s as well. We score a hit on the first one. The second is going to miss, and then the third one on a 3-up as well. He is going to take a hit. So armor saves will be taken here. Anything but a 1, and these ISU 122s will be good. The first one is passed, and so is the second. We then have one of the 88s eyeing down shots with our halted rate of fire at the T-34 unit, and this is not the HQ unit, but 2 shots going out, halted rate of fire, normally hitting these guys on 3s, long range to a 4, concealed 5. Both of these are going to hit, so 1 on the 76, 1 on the 85, and although his front armor goes to a 7 at long range, he cannot roll a 7 on a d6 to equal my anti-tank, so we are going straight to firepower. These are hitting the front, and on a 3 up, these are going to explode, and the 85 goes up in smoke, as does the 76. With those 2 lead tanks up in smoke, the other Panzer IVs turn their turrets to fire down at the other T-34 platoon, and they are shooting at their moving rate of fire and normally hitting these guys on 3s, long range to a 4, concealed 5. 3 shots coming out from the main cannons, and there will be 1 hit. We'll assign that to the 85, and Anthony is going to attempt to change the target here. He will fail this roll, and he will take an armor save here, as even though it's in the side at long range, he does have a chance to block this shot. That roll does fail, however, the firepower test is good, and that 85 goes up in flames. The lead tank in this platoon is going to fire at this stuck T-34 here and easily going to hit on this 6. The armor save required would be a 6 in order to bounce the shot, and that is going to fail, and our firepower test will be taken here, easily getting it again with a 6, and that is another tank lost. We then have 2 shots ringing out from the Panzer IV HQ unit at the scout car, but with them failing their blitz order, making it even harder to hit, they both miss. Back on the German right flank, machine guns begin to rip out of the Panzer IVs into the Soviet infantry. Shooting through the smoke here, we're normally hitting on a 3. That smoke taking this to a 4. 12 shots coming out from all of these tanks, and there will be a total of 7 hits, I believe. So each stand will be assigned a hit, and then we will do 3-up infantry saves. And out of all of these saves, they are all going to be good except for the very last one. But more importantly, the unit leader as well as the commissar are still active and in the unit. They will be pinned and will need to recover from that in their next starting step. But that is going to bring us to the end of turn 2. And turn 2 seen a lot of action as the Germans really pushed up the center. The Soviets began to work down their left flank. Lots of casualties taking place on the Soviet side. Numerous tanks went up in smoke, and another infantry stand was lost. And we are gearing up for a turn 3. The smoke stays down for 2 turns. And now that those PaK-40s are off the hill, we'll have to see how far the Soviets are going to push into the German deployment zone. Turn 3 gets started in the starting step, and we are going to see if this tank is going to stick around. The commander is nearby, needs a 4+. He does fail, but we'll get to re-roll for the commander being close by, yelling at him to stay in the fight, and he will do so. We then go to unpin these infantry here that do have a commissar in them, and they will rally on a 3+, and that test is going to be passed as well. We then have a blitz maneuver coming from the T-34s that will be passed on a 3. He is going to blitz up a few inches to get a shot down at the Panzer IVs, potentially, and then the BA-64s are going to move towards the center of the battlefield. We move over to some T-34s now, and they are going to move deep into the German territory, bringing their main cannons to bear against the Panzer IVs. The infantry are going to walk up next to the Panzer IVs as well on the opposite side of the smoke. We've got a blitz maneuver from some other T-34s that will be passed, and this is going to allow them to turn ever so slightly to get shots downrange at additional Panzer IV opportunities. Soviet shooting step, we have an observation from the scout car for the artillery going down on these Panzer IVs here, and then the mortars are going to get ranged in as well on the half-tracks. And they're ranging in on the second attempt as the scout car is providing an additional observation for them that is going to be successful. ISU-122s open up the fun, firing down at the Panzer IV units, and it will be 4 shots, but it is long range and they are concealed, so this will require 6s, and all of these shots are going to miss. Continuing in the shooting phase, we have one of the T-34s. This is a 76 that will fire down at the Panzer IVs. Should be in short range here, and that should just require a straight 4 to hit, and it did blitz, so halted rate of fire going out, and that is going to score 1 hit. And let's go down to the banner cam for this one. Needing a 3 or better to tie, and that's the first casualty on the firepower test.
3.
3 up. Oh. He gets it. So the Germans taking their first armored casualty there as one of the Panzer IV tanks goes up in flames. We have then got more T-34s that's eyeing down the center at these Panzer IVs. And due to that last hit assignment, these shots will go against front armor, as the one he had a side shot on did get blown up already. Long range will take these shots to a 5, although they will get their halted rate of fire due to them passing their blitz maneuver. And we should have rolled these separately, but we figure it all out later. There's going to be a total of 3 hits that go through, and these are going to get assigned to the remaining 3 tanks. And front armor here going to a 7 at long range, and I need a 3 in order to beat these shots, as they're anti-tank 9. That first one is going to be good. The second one will roll out, and that one is going to fail. So a firepower test coming out. That is an exploded Panzer IV. The next one going into side armor, that's going to fail as well. And another firepower test is successful. So now 3 out of those 4 tanks are down. And as a quick side note, those remaining 2 were 85s, so they had an anti-tank of 12. That's why you saw some mixed results there with the saves. And shots continue to pummel the German armor as the T-34s have made their way around into the German backfield, and the 85 fires first, just needing a 4 to hit, short range, no concealment. He lands the shot on one of the Panzer IVs, and then the 76s, they are overworked as they did move, so they will require 5s, getting that -1 to hit modifier, and 2 more dice rolling out. They are going to strike with 1 as well. So we will take 1 armor save here at an anti-tank of 12 and the other at an anti-tank of 9 going into my side armor. On the 76 with an anti-tank of 9, I am going to roll up a 6 on the armor save, which will tie the anti-tank. So on a 3+, that tank will be bailed out, and it is. The next one is an anti-tank of 12 going into my side armor, just a straight firepower test, and on a 4, it is destroyed. Artillery and mortar shells then begin to fall on the German armor in the middle of the board, but all of those remaining tanks that are active, as well as the half-tracks, make it through the bombardment unscathed. And moving to the assault step, the Soviet infantry is going to charge into the Panzer IVs, and we really had to revisit the rules on this and walk ourselves through step by step. We still think that there may be some rules errors in here in the way that we did the counter-assaults, so just be aware of that. Leave a comment down below if you see the corrections that we need to make. The lone operating tank will fire defensive fire, 4 shots from his machine gun, hitting on 4s due to the smoke. These guys are normally hit on 3s, smoke making that a +1 modifier, so 2 hits will go through. We get those assigned, and then the 88s behind can also conduct defensive fire, being within 8 inches, I believe, and they will fire as well, normally hitting these guys on a 3, the smoke making that a 4. So 4 more shots coming out from the 2 88s at their halted rate of fire. That's 2 more hits. That is not enough to pin them, and the assault will continue, and we've got some swings taking place. Armor saves are being taken, with the Commissar being good, the next unit being good. He is going to lose 1 large infantry stand in the front, and the unit platoon leader is going to be good as well. The assault continues, and he is going to use one of his cards here, and that is the RPG-6 anti-tank grenades. So for the motherland, makes these guys hit on 2s. There will be 2 swings going against one of the tanks on 2s. Both of those are good, and there will be 1 swing going onto another tank down below. That is going to be good as well. Now the RPG-6 anti-tank grenades gives him 2 swings that are worth an anti-tank of 10, and going into my side armor, that is going to go right through, so I can't take saves. It's going to go straight to a firepower test. And on that 6, that tank is destroyed, and the other one taking a firepower test as well, that will fail. And this is where we got even more bogged down on the rules, because the 88s do not have a tactical move speed, and we kind of envisioning this as them abandoning the guns and running in with shovels and whatever they had into the assault, and we weren't sure if they were just taking over or what. So we did pass their motivation to counterattack, and they charge into contact, and we're going to give them some swings. So being a large gun, they have an assault of a 4-up, and out of these 2 swings, one of them will connect and remove one of the infantry teams. For the Soviets, they of course attack back, or they motivate back on a 4-up, and on 2s, they will kill the 88s. They get 2 of those, eliminating that unit and taking over that position. And with that step concluded, we shift down to the Germans for the bottom of the turn, and the Panzer IV is going to stick around on a 3+, getting a better last stand test, and then these guys are going to pass a blitz maneuver on a 3+ as well, moving forward 4 inches for free. They are then going to move at tactical speed, bringing their guns into position, close firing position of that scout car. We've then got the Panzer IV HQ unit in the middle. They are going to attempt to blitz as well on a 3+. That is successful, so they will scoot forward 4 inches and then move at tactical speed as well. In the German backfield, the Panzer Grenadiers will abandon this objective and move to help where they can over on the right flank where the Soviets are bearing down. The half-track does get bogged down on the terrain. And then we roll up for artillery to range in, needing a 4+ over terrain here. They are changing location, self-spotting onto this artillery, and then we will commence the bombardment immediately following in the shooting step. And these guys are hit on 3s, and we get a hit on the first, and in total there will be 2 hits that go onto the artillery, and there will be 1 hit that also goes on to the HQ tank. And gun saves begin to be taken on a 4-up. The first one is good. The second one on a 4-up is going to be good as well. And then the tank needs a 2 in order to tie with a top armor of 1. He's all good there, beats the anti-tank. And now we've got one of the Panzer IVs taking a shot down at the T-34. It is a long range, normally hits on 3. This makes it a 4. 2 shots, halted rate of fire, both miss. The HQ Panzer IVs then take a shot at the HQ T-34, and 2 shots coming out there for moving rate of fire. Those shots miss. Car here rotates the machine gun to fire into these guns, needing 4s due to the concealment. That'll be 2 hits. And I think you're just going to get your gun save there.
I hope so. Let's see, 4s. Front guy.
Good.
Alright, second guy. Oh!
Firepower test? Are they?
Yeah, because let's see, gun shield. Gun shield bulletproof cover base does not apply to bombardments or if the team moved at dash speed.
6 up.
Woo!
Oh, I
That
just
was
missed it on a
close.
5. Other 8 machine guns going into here, just needing 3? 4 for concealment. And that's where I get a bunch of hits. Goodness gracious.
Now they're waking up.
All right, so 6.
Woo! 6 armor saves. So a 1 armor save makes me a 2, so it would
Right.
tie you. All right.
So no ones here.
No.
There's a 1! And that just bails them out, right?
If you get your 6.
If I get my 6.
Which would be good. Ooh.
And I did want to leave some of that audio in just so you could see the amount of fun that we were having playing this game. Anthony was a great guy to come over and play Flames of War with. Turn 3 is over. Major casualties on the German side. The Soviets are experiencing a lot of casualties as well. And we are in a race to the finish. Turn 4 coming up. Starting step for the Soviets, we're going to see if this T-34-76 will stick around. He fails, but the commander is nearby, going to try to talk him into staying, and needs a 4-up in order to do that, and that is good. So he will stick around, and we will also roll for morale down here for the infantry troops, and it looks like they are going to stick around as well. We'll then roll to see if these guys unpin, and they do not. Then we're going to re-roll for the commander being close by, and they will stay pinned down, which will be pretty big for the Germans. In the movement step, the artillery is going to turn to face the enemy, and then we are going to see a tactical move from the T-34 moving around the back towards the objective. The scout cars, or excuse me, the BA-64s are going to attempt to blitz and fail, so they will just move their tactical speed of 8 inches. And then the ISU-122s are going to move at dash speed, trying to close the gate. On the Soviet left flank, T-34s move to block off the approaching enemy infantry, and the other T-34s are going to move at tactical speed on top of the hill, ready to bring guns down to bear on the dug-in infantry that's guarding the objective. We've then got the infantry units. They are going to make their way around the hill, also ready to apply pressure. In the shooting step, the mortars are getting a spot from the scout car, and it is successful on the first attempt on that 5. And after the mortar shots rain down, we start taking saves. The first one is good. The second one is going to fail, so that stand will be removed. And then we continue rolling through armor saves, with the next one being good. And then following with another 3-up save, it is good as well. That unit will be pinned, however. The 3 T-34s in the front then open up with their machine guns, 12 shots in total, hitting on straight 4s, and a ton of these will go through. I think it might have been 7 or more that go through, maybe 8. So we will start taking infantry saves on a 3-up. The vast majority of these are going to be good. Actually, all of them but one are going to be good. So statistically, he should have gotten a little bit more, but only one stand taking down from these machine guns. The other T-34 unit fires their main cannons down at the infantry guarding the objective. They are concealed and gone to ground, however, as they have not moved, fired, or done anything, and they are also in foxholes. He will score a hit on one of these 6s, however, and the infantry save is going to be passed on a 3-up. The HQ tank is going to fire into the Panzer IV unit, trying to slow them down and not let them get any closer to the objective. 2 shots halted rate of fire. One of these is going to hit on that 6, and I need a 3 to tie his anti-tank of 9, and I am going to do that. So a firepower test will be required to see if he can bail this tank out. And that firepower is going to be successful. One of those Panzer IVs will be bailed out. Now the 2 guns that rotated earlier, they will fire 2 shots with their moving rate of fire because they are pinned down. He's going to get another hit here as well, and I am going to roll up just enough to beat the anti-tank, and nothing will happen there. We'll also see 1 shot coming from this last T-34 that made its way around the back. It will be shooting with its moving rate of fire at a +1 as well due to overworked. That shot will miss. German starting step trying to rally these pinned down infantry, but they just don't feel motivated enough. They are staying to the ground, pinned, then remounting this bailed out Panzer IV on a 3-up. That is successful. Last stand check on this Panzer IV platoon here, and that's good. He is sticking around for another turn, and then in the movement step, these half-tracks are moving into a blocking position. And after realizing I do need to get a little bit further, I am going to go ahead and roll for a blitz maneuver to see if they can get that additional 4 inches, and they will do that on a 6. That is going to allow them to come up and form almost kind of a wall to block. The guns turn around and get ready to fire at the enemy, and the HQ tanks are going to move on to the objective. The lone Panzer IV will fail a blitz maneuver, but he is going to bend around the road here to attempt to get a shot off on the T-34s. In the shooting step, the artillery ranged in and did a bombardment to no effect. This Panzer IV is going to fire down at this T-34, and a hit will be made. The save roll is going to fail, but so will the firepower roll, so that T-34 is going to be just bailed out. And then we'll move over to the HQ formation, where they were going to fire between these gaps at the enemy tank. So 2 shots on 4s, both are good. The armor saves are taken, and it looks like 1 will be failed. So a 3-up firepower test is being taken to destroy this tank, and that roll is going to be successful. Machine guns from the half-tracks begin firing down at the artillery in the woods, hitting on force due to that concealment. 12 shots roaring out, and of these, 7 are going to find the mark. So 2 of these, 2 hits will be assigned to each of these, 1 will be assigned to the last one, and rolling these saves out, that first one is going to fail one of these. These are 4-up gun saves, so a firepower test will be required on that one. On the second one here, which is the closest one, that will be both are going to fail. And the ones at the back are not going to take advantage of gun shields because they are not turned the right way, but both of the gun saves are good. And on the other one, the single save is good as well. So a firepower test rolls out on the first, and it requires a 6. That is not successful. And then 2 firepower dice here, and we do get a 6, and that will take down one of those guns and will completely free up the objective. And since the Germans control that objective at the end of their turn, that will satisfy the victory conditions for this scenario, and the Germans are going to take a narrow victory today. And what a great game. If it did not end right there for the Germans, it certainly would have ended on the next turn for the Soviets, as everything that he had on the left flank, those 2 tank platoons, the infantry, and anything else, was all going to come crashing into my infantry on that objective, more than likely killing just enough of them to secure that objective for a Soviet victory. So lucky enough for me, the Germans were able to pull this one out. I have never played against the Soviets before, so I had no idea what to expect, and really appreciate my opponent, Anthony. He's such a good sport, and we both just play casually and had a lot of fun. Really appreciate him bringing the Soviets onto the channel today to get them formally introduced. So had a ton of fun playing this one. Would like to also say thank you to my 2021 Coffee Supporters Club. If you'd like any information on that, links on how to support the channel, either directly or indirectly, will be in the comments below. My content will always be free, and what I do is just simply what I'm passionate about. So certainly appreciate your support directly, indirectly, by subscribing, by liking, by leaving a comment. It certainly means a lot to me, no matter what you do. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you really enjoyed it. Can't wait to do more of these in 2022, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks.